Hey guys, so I've seen a few people post up issues with their Celicas, 4th gen obviously, 162s, intermittently not starting. When you turn the key, you just turn it, and you have, you get that click at kind of the instrument cluster. Maybe you see your voltage drop just a hair because you can tell there's some power going somewhere. So it's not in the switch. It's not in the clutch pedal, because if you're holding the key and you feather the clutch pedal, you get that power draw as well, and you can hear that relay clicking usually. This is what I was experiencing for a while. It's nothing ignition related, because eventually it just randomly will start cranking, and when it does, at least again, this is all my car, but it sounds like everyone else, a lot of other people are having this issue. Once it starts actually cranking, it just fires right up with no problem, stays running. So ultimately, it sounds like the starter relay mod that everyone is doing is the solution. So I finally jumped on board with that. This is my 86 GTS I'm working on. All my ignition stuff is new or tested and known to be working. I just rebuilt the motor last year. It's got less than 1,000 miles on the rebuild, so I know it's nothing serious. I know it's just something stupid like this. So I jumped onto the ST162 forums to a post by MattC that I'll give all the credit to for the walkthrough. I'm just kind of doing a video to see if I can help you guys out a little bit, and I'll link his kind of written walkthrough in the post, because it was perfect for me. It helped out a lot. So basically, you want to bear with me, I'm trying to do this by myself in the dark. You want to go to the parts store and get some basic stuff. I got an inline fuse holder with 30 amp already in it. That's what that is there. It comes with the 2 little sections of wiring. You want some 1/4 inch or 6.4 millimeter male quick disconnects, like that. You only actually, I think, need a single male one. You need some ring terminals. I got these blue ones, 6.4 millimeters. They worked out. And then you'll need a handful of these female quick disconnects, same specs as the males. I'm a huge fan of the heat shrink stuff. I like to get all electrical components that I can that will shrink with the heat as well, because it just helps hold everything together better, and these help strengthen that joint. They kind of waterproof it a little bit. So what I like to do on all of my connections, just real quick, is I'll put, say, the ring terminal on, but before I put it on, I figure out what heat shrink size tubing is going to work the best, and I'll slip it onto the wire first and push it down, and then I'll put the ring terminal on, crimp it down, and then I heat that joint to shrink that plastic just a little bit, let it cool for a second, and then I'll slip the heat shrink up over it and heat it, and it just holds it all together. It's way cleaner, way better than electrical tape, and honestly, it's a hell of a lot easier. This $10 heat gun I got at Harbor Freight like 4 years ago. I've never had an issue with it. It works perfect. So yeah, this isn't necessary. You obviously can do electrical tape, but I strongly recommend trying this stuff out. Some dikes, wire cutters, whatever, some of that. You'll want some wire too. The wire that I got, I think it's 16 gauge. I already had it sitting around. I used 1 piece here for the ground wire, because you'll be making 4 pieces of wire to come out of this this relay. This is also, what kind of relay is this? It is a universal 4-pin 30 amp relay. This is the one that it looks like here. It's got the 87, the 85, the 30, and the 86. So what you're going to do real quick is basically what's going to be going on is you're going to need to get to your starter, which for just a second here, for the GTS guys, it's going to be a little bit harder because our starters are reversed and they're under the exhaust manifold or the headers. Still not super hard to get to. All you really need to do is just take off that little heat shield that is on the starter. It's a single 10mm bolt kind of going in this direction. Whole heat shield comes out, and then just 2 bolts that hold the starter on there. Obviously you want to disconnect your battery before you do anything like that. And then the starter doesn't have to come out of here. You can swivel it just enough underneath this exhaust manifold to get this brown plug out. As listed in Matt's post, I don't know if it's brown on all the cars, but there's only 2 wires that go to the starter. There's the brown plug there, and then there's also the one that actually is held on by a nut. You don't need to touch that one at all. You just unplug this little brown wire, and what is going to happen is you're going to take this relay and you're going to make all these different wire connections and just mount it somewhere. Honestly, I'm probably just going to put it right there and just zip tie it so I can easily take it off. So mine's going to be housed from right here, and then all my wires are going to route to different places. So on the 85 terminal in there, which is this one here, I've got my ground wire, and you want to ground that to the body, so I'm just going to ground that from where it is mounted up there, just right over here, probably to that or there. You know, you can just, there's a lot of mounts on little 10mm bolts nearby that'll work fine. 87, so right up here at 12 o'clock from that ground wire is the inline fuse holder. I think if you don't have the GTS, everything's kind of spaced a little bit different. I haven't seen under the hood in one of those for a while. So you might actually need to add some length to the pre-existing wire on this inline fuse holder, but I didn't need to, because where that's going to go is it's going to clip into 87 on the relay, which again for me is just going to be right here, and then you add a ring terminal on the end on the other side, and that's just going to go to battery positive. So my connection's just a few inches, so just the standard length of that is actually more than enough. Obviously all 4 ends that clip into the relay is going to be the female connections, and then from number 86, that is actually going to go from 86 here, and that is going to go down, and it is the male, the single male that you're going to use, and that plugs in on the starter right there where that brown plug comes out, because correction, that will actually plug into this brown wire. The male will, because that's the only female connection there is. And then last but not least, we have number 30 here, and that one comes down, and that is another female. That one needs to be a little bit longer. So then 30 will actually be the one that goes down and plugs in there. So you'll have one connection going from the plug there up to 30, and then you're going to have 86 is going to go, it's going to be a male that plugs in there, going to a female there. You're going to have 87 is going to be your power wire, so that will just go female connection here to ring terminal battery positive. And then 85 again is the ground, so that will be female connection on there, and just ground it wherever the hell you want. So I will, I'm assuming this is going to work. I haven't, of course, finished putting it together yet, so I'm going to button it all up, and then I will let you guys know how it goes. If it fails, obviously I'm not going to upload this video. So I'm not exactly sure what it is, just in case somebody asks, I'm not exactly sure what it is on these cars that causes, what the actual root source of that problem is, where the wiring issue is, or where that signal just fails to go. But somehow this just seems to eliminate that. I think it the idea is it simplifies the connection. You know, it's kind of like my Cherokee over there. They're notorious for the headlight switches and those going bad, because the actual headlight switch, the cheap crappy little wiring that goes to the switch on the dash that you pull out, is actually the power supply for the headlights, and they're known to just burn out over time. So you simplify it by adding kind of a basic system like this under the hood that just turns, gives direct battery power through a relay to the headlights, and then that switch just becomes a toggle on and off. It is no longer the power source. So it just fixes a common issue that's there, and you actually get it actually fixes it even better, because you get better power supply, and it makes the headlights work better. But my point is just like that. It's just kind of eliminates a known problem in a vehicle. It simplifies it with something a little bit easier to work on, because this is all now going to be right here. So now I know if there's any sort of power issue going to my starter, at least in this system, it's either going to just be a single relay or a single fuse, you know, or a bad connection. But it's all stuff that's really easy to get to. So I will upload this video and let you guys know how it goes. All right, so I have it installed. Just like I said, I just zip tied that relay there really quick. That way, I don't know, it's just easy to swap for me. I don't really care. It's fine right there. So I got the relay there. We got the power line. Sorry, my fat hand's in the way. Got the power line with the inline 30 amp fuse going. And then I've got the ground going to there. And then I've got the two wires going down here. So like I said, one of them, the male plugs into the brown plug that came off the starter, and then the other wire that's encased in the wire loom goes down to where that plug used to connect. Got the starter back up in there, super easy. Honestly, less than an hour I had this whole mod done, and that includes the time it took me to take the video and to stop to help my 2-year-old take a poop. So I guess I will just we'll go on this adventure together and see if it actually starts. Ooh. Dark in here. Oh, just kidding. I never connected my battery again. Hang on. All right. Helps to have my battery connected. And props to anyone that noticed that was disconnected in the video. Okay. Let's see if this thing starts. Bear with me, my dome light sucks. Holy crap, it started. Look at that. And there we go. It worked. So time will tell if this mod has fixed my issue. You know, the good news is this problem hasn't left me stranded per se. So hopefully anyone that experiences the issue I was having, it's as mild as I was having and not worse. And this issue, it happened whether the car had sat for a few days or whether I had just driven it and it was cold, warmed up already. It didn't really seem to matter when it would happen. It was just random as hell. You know, there was a time I was driving through town home from work a couple months ago, and just out of the corner of my eye I spotted some freaking pop-up headlights, and I looked over and it was an 85 Celica Super that was just gorgeous. So I just decided on the fly, oh man, I'm gonna go get some gas, check this thing out. Met this lady, and I take pride in how clean my car is. This woman the car had been in her family since it was brand new. She had had the thing for I think like 28 years or something. And it was just, I mean, it was show quality. And funny enough, I got my gas, went to start my car, damn thing wouldn't start. But I just sat there for about a minute, and that's about every time this has happened, is when it decides to act up, I just try it every, 30 seconds, try it again, all of a sudden randomly, boom, it just fires up. So hopefully that's the same issue you guys are having if you're watching this video, and hopefully this will help you solve your problem. So like I said, I will post a video of, or sorry, not a video, a link to, sorry, I was reading a text and talking at the same time. I will post a link to the forums. I think you have to be a member to maybe view that post. I'm not really sure. But I will post a link to the thread that Matt had made, that I referenced, that has the nice walkthrough that I followed, and it helped me tremendously. He uses layman's terms. It's really easy to follow, and then that way you guys can do it yourself. And like I said, I did this in about an hour. Didn't take a lot of time, and it didn't really cost much. I mean, keep in mind, I bought an entire package of these things, so I bought way more than I needed, but now I have them for future projects. I'm in the thing like maybe 30 bucks or something for the mod, but again, I've got left, I already had the wiring, so that doesn't really count. Maybe it'd be like 40 or 50 bucks total. I don't know what pricing is like where some of you guys are. I already had the wiring, and the wire loom and the heat shrink stuff, because I've done a lot of electrical on that Jeep since I got it. But for like 30 bucks, it's really not a difficult mod. You don't even have to have electrical experience if you just have the parts you need, which he lists pretty clearly in his post, and just some basic tools. Like I said, you want some sort of plier to crimp down your connections, some wire strippers, and some wire cutters or something like that, and a couple basic wrenches. It's basic tools, bare bones basic knowledge. You just follow what he did, follow what I did in the video, and you ought to be able to tackle this thing. It's an effortless type of mod. It just takes a little bit of time. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll try to answer them as best I can. Thanks.